Ryszard Tokarczuk, and this silly video is supposed to show how to play the game that I designed for the postcards from the front gem. The game is called Hoplomachus, and it's supposed to be a dueling game between two hoplites. I will try to explain the rules as I go. The game is postcard sized, is available in the PDF format, and also available on Tabletop Simulator. Hopefully I still remember how to play my own game. So the first thing that we need to do is to choose the weapons or arrange the counters on the board. The warriors B and A are already on their spots. The armor pieces are around, but they need weapon. We'll try to keep it simple and give them a simple sword. Next, we have to randomize their starting positions. So shuffle, deck, initial deck. First card is for the player A, 1 space. Aces have value of 1, generally speaking. Initial position of the player B, 5 spaces, 2, 4, 5. And then dealing out 5 cards to each player. Initial hand for the player 1, and initial hand for the player B. The initial deck consists of the cards from aces, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s. And obviously I'm playing the open hands here. Normally the players do not see their hands. Players, before the game officially begins, they have to choose the trump suit. Trump suit is important for continuation or seizing the initiative, but also enables players to defend themselves better. So player A makes decision clubs. Okay, clubs. It looks like the indicator is already showing the clubs. Therefore, player B looks into his hand. He sees ace, spades. So I will leave spades. Aces or face cards that are in trump suit, they beat any other numerical value cards, so it may be helpful to have like this. Unfortunately, the first play belongs to player A, to the first player. So first player goes through the movement phase. He picks one card and he moves as many spaces as there is the value of the card. So let's see how to do this. Well, let's say that 4. Warrior A moves 4 spaces, 2, 3, 4, and stops here. Because movement is done, the next phase, the next segment is attack. And player A chooses the one value from his hand, in this case 3s. He has 2 cards, so he attacks warrior B with 2 attacks, 3 diamonds, 3 hearts. His fatigue goes up by 1, or is actually lowered by 1 level. So I place the fatigue marker there. And player B has to respond. The goal of the game is to inflict 2 wounds upon the enemy, and if player B will not respond to both of those cards, he will get 1 wound from each and promptly lose the game. This would be a poor demonstration, so I will try to see what can be done about playing it for a little longer. Well, the cards that are to be played in defense must match the suits of the attacking cards or be in a suit of a trump for that particular player. So this spades will not do, clubs will not do, but I can put 2 hearts and either 2 diamonds or ace. I prefer to keep the ace for later. In this case, both cards are parried, or maybe there is a partial success, because the value of the cards that are used in response is lower than attacking cards. This means that the armor with hearts on player B side is disabled, and armor with diamonds is disabled as well. The blow damages the chest piece and the greaves of the hoplite B and will be not used anymore in this game. Additionally, the player B defended himself, so his fatigue is lowered by 1 just as well. I, after the attack, player A has the choice to continue his to play to achieve to obtain the second round, and this can be powerful gambit, but you have to use the trump cards. In this case, player A clubs, trump cards from the player's hand. To make it simple, I will once again, normally players put the chosen card face down, and this obviously there is no reason for me when I'm playing this solo, I cannot do this like that. So once again, this will be revealed, but player B, the other player, doesn't know exactly what is the value that the first player uses for the continuation attempt. So he has to decide whether to commit ace or not to stop player A from having a second round. In this case, it is worth it to use to stop player A from obtaining extra round. Therefore, both cards are placed face down, revealed at the same time, and because ace spades is the trump suit for the player B, for the warrior B, it means that ace beats any numerical value card. So 2, 5 doesn't matter. Basically, player A does not receive this extra round. But this means that both players uh, may or have to change their trump suit, current trump suit. The loser can choose to change their trump suit. In this case, player A loses the attempt, but he has the card remaining, and 5 is a good card, so he will leave this at the trump, at the club suit, with the winner of the attempt has to rotate the trump tile by 90 grays. So the choice really is either between the hearts or diamonds. Tough call. Let's believe in love. So hearts it is. Player A, after the continuation, because he attacked, he does not regain any fatigue levels and has to refresh his hand up to 5 cards. If warriors are not fatigued at all, they also refill their hand to up to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. And player A round is over. The game comes over to player B. Player B has only two cards on his hand. So he once again needs to play first card for the movement. Tough choices. Tough choices. Well, maybe let's try make life of player A a little more miserable. So with 3 for movement, I want to move past the player A. 1, 2, 3. It's not possible according to the rules and the designer, and the movement officially ends here in front of player warrior A. but because of the movement that normally would end past on the space past the warrior A, I can use the shield bash. It's basically an attack attempt during the movement phase and is resolved the same way like the attacks from player A earlier. So three spades and the player A has to answer either with the trump, so clubs, or spades, but the value must be bigger or lower. In this case, it's enough for player A. He fortunately has this possibility. He uses three, the same value, three spades. The shield bash doesn't work and the warrior A isn't laid flat on the floor. So basically, two hoplites are struggling for uh, with against each other, and the fatigue level goes down by one. So movement for the player B is done. This card will go as a regular attack because player B is within a range of one space. This is what this number on the weapons mean really. The warriors are in adjacent spaces, so four clubs, and once again, uh, this time player A can choose only one card to block, and maybe it's fortunate that he is forced to give up his trump card, but the attack comes to naught. The cards go to discard. The fatigue level, the attacker attacked, the defender defended themselves, and normally player B would be able to attempt continuation just like player A, but in this case, in this particular case, there are no cards remaining on their hands, so nothing can be done, and the next phase is refilling the hand. Fatigue level for player B is 3, so right now 3 new cards onto their hand. And the play goes over to player A. Once again, first card for movement. Well, we can make it relatively simple. So movement value of 1, so moving onto the space. Once again, there is no stacking in this game, so the warrior tile remains here. Because warriors are in range, the next the player A chooses the value of the card 5. In this case, he can use both 5s and attacks poor hapless player B. But fatigue level goes down one level, so actually the player A becomes dazed or worn out by the attack. So the question is whether the player B can defend themselves or not. And in this case, trump suit is hearts. So what can be done, unfortunately, in this particular case, cannot be done because, as you can see, the values that I possess in my hand are of lower value. Those cards could be used, but unfortunately, the armor, the chest piece that was hearts, and the diamonds are disabled. So even if I would use those cards, the hits would not be blocked, would not be parried. I do not have right now higher value cards to use than fives. Who shuffled this deck? I wonder. In any case, because those cards cannot be used and ace diamonds will not help me either, 5 attacks against player B. The first wound is denoted by flipping the warrior counter. The second wound actually mm, eliminates the warrior B from the game. And this is it. in the shortest, this is the game. It doesn't mean that it lasts that short. It is possible to play this game for longer. For example, we didn't exhaust the drop pile, but the gist of it is like this: the phases movement, attack, continuation, and refilling the hand continue, starting with player A and then going to player B. To mix things up, there is always a possibility for one continuation per player. And then the question really becomes how the cards have been shuffled. We know very well that fives are the highest values unless you have trumps. So maybe player B should have picked a different trump and should not believe in love. Hopefully, this explains at least a little bit how to play this game. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, ladies, for your patience. Until next time, happy wargaming.